Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is John Rose, and in today's video I'd like to take a closer look at the work of Michael McKibben. We're going to take a look at what he calls the timeline of evil. I'm going to put a link down below in the description box of this video to an amazing timeline of evil his team of patent lawyers created over the last 17 years. This man's a genius. He rewrote AT&T's email software in the mid-90s. He's the man who created the genius behind the social networking that we now see on Facebook and the technology used with PayPal, Google. All that technology comes from the mind of Michael McKibben, a genius. His work was stolen from him. He explains his journey. And I'm going to put a link down below to this evidence that he and his team has come up with. Judicially verifiable evidence that can be used in a court of law. He knows because he's been battling court cases for the last 17 years, and of course he's learned you can't win in America's court system. It's corrupt, it's evil. It's how the system is set up. In fact, he pointed out that you already knew the outcome based upon who appointed the judge. Who he points out, appointed judges don't even have to be lawyers, although they all are. But his story is fascinating. He explains how he came up with this technology that was then given to Mark Zuckerberg, who's a front man. He didn't create this. He didn't write that software. Michael McKibben did. Peter Thiel, PayPal, same thing. He's a front man. It comes from this brilliant mind of his, and he has this team of lawyers that have been documenting evidence for 17 years. And he put it all together. He used a storyboard concept, very similar to what I explained in my previous video to this, on how to evaluate historical evidence, or how do you evaluate all evidence. And it's the same thing that he is doing. I always love it when I see my approach confirmed by someone else who's doing the same thing. And he admits that he didn't even come up with this technique. It's a technique called storyboarding. And you do the same thing I explained in my previous video, where all you do, step one, gather all the data. And you walk away from it, you come back and you let it fit where it's supposed to, but you gotta be non-judgmental about it in the beginning. And that's all they did. They've been gathering evidence that can be used in court for over 17 years. And they got this PDF, a link on their website, and they have a special search function where you can go over there and type in some names of different people, and you'll find every crime they committed in the last 17 years. This is powerful, powerful stuff. This can be used by all sorts of people everywhere if you want to take down the powers that be. We've got the proof now. It's exciting stuff. And what he said, he found out, what was really interesting, is that the same players that stole his technology 17 years ago are the same players today that are trying to bring down the American government. This is interesting stuff, to say the least, my friends. Again, we live in an exciting time where more and more people like this man here, you see, we know where his revolution is at. It's in technology. And the way the patent office is set up is that all of American patents go through a company called Serco, S-E-R-C-O. It's owned by foreign countries. Every American patent has to go to them to be approved. And why? Because our patent office is the way they steal information from us. American patents, they're being stolen by our government in the name of national security. That's why we don't have free energy. Every time someone comes up with technology for free energy, in the name of national safety, we got to take their invention. You can't let people have free energy. They did the same thing to Michael McKibben's social networking software. They stole it from him. And now they're using it as a weapon. They stole it, they weaponized it to spy on us. And more people are finding out that's what Facebook is all about, isn't it? They're spying on us. Google, same technology, they're spying on us. That's why they're doing it. Something else they pointed out that I thought was interesting that they hadn't realized before is they uncovered what's known as the SES, the Senior Executive Services. It came out of an act a Civil Service Act back in 1978 under the Carter administration, and it was supposed to help the bureaucrats relate to the workers better. But that has been taken over, and in the SES report in 2016 they came out and they said we have 8,156 members. And who are they members of? What are they members of? They're part of the deep state, the shadow government that's controlling us. You see, when you want to control the world, you got to own the politicians. You got to bribe both parties. We're given the illusion of a choice, and sure, there's a difference between the left and the right, but they're both financed by the same thing, so they're both pushing the same basic agenda to bring us down. It's a long-term collectivist plan to take over our country by usurping the Constitution, by appointing all these bureaucrats. And now what we have out of those 8,156 bureaucrats that are paid to protect the officials so that when they commit a crime and then they start a commission to investigate it, it's these appointed people and the bureaucrats that go investigate it. Look what happened with the Kennedy assassination. The Warren Commission was headed by the people who killed him, the Dulles brothers. Same thing with 9/11. Look who they put in charge of that. And it ties into the same players that are still in McKibben's technology, the same ones that are doing it now to us today. Think about that. We've identified 8,000 people who are part of the shadow government now. We've got a timeline, a storyboard, where any DA, anywhere, in any place on this planet in America can file charges against these crooks because they're committing crimes everywhere. All you have to do is type in a name, and it'll take you to every crime they committed in a 17-year period of time. Think about that. Now, I downloaded this. I created a file on it. It's a 25-page file. I can go in there and I can do a Control-F search function for Clinton. That name comes up 1,800 times. Do you know there are 36 different Clinton foundations? And this isn't about Republicans and Democrats. That's a ruse, you fool. We're talking about Bushes and Clintons. It's the Democrats, it's the Republicans. They're two sides of the same vulture. They're both financed by the same corrupt people. And every generation, these people get appointed to positions that they're supposedly not able to be fired from. But there's a lot of exciting things happening right now. Last I heard, there were something like 18,000 sealed indictments. A lot of these people in top positions are coming down, supposedly. It's yet to be seen, but again, this could be really exciting. If some of the things I've been reading are true. So I'm not going to drag this video out any more than it already has been dragged out. I'll put links down below to this very fascinating storyboard so that if you want to find out if you've got a person that you don't like or you like and you want to find out if they're really clean, type their name into this search function and it'll tell you every crime they committed. And the thing about this evidence that they collected, it's all judicially accepted and verifiable. They know how to find the evidence. These guys are brilliant people. And all they've done is gather the facts and put them together and gave them to us so we can use them to figure out the truth of things. And what you're going to find, it's the same small group of corrupt people with their cronies that are put in positions of power to usurp our whole Constitution. It goes back to the Fabian Society. That's why it was established in 1884 to usher in this one world collectivist government. Long-term goal to control us and do away with our Constitution by creating all these bureaucracies. I've done videos specifically on this, explaining how that works. Think about it, folks. The FDA covers up crimes for the big pharmaceutical companies. The what do we got? The EPA, they cover up crimes of the chemical industry. Then we have the USDA, they cover up crimes of biotech. Then we have, what else we got here? We've got, oh yeah, we can't forget the CDC, they cover up the crimes of the vaccine industry. And what do if you question the official version? You're automatically labeled a denier. Almost anything that has been labeled as a denier, you can pretty much guarantee they're a truth teller, and they're threatening the powers that be. That's why they try to label you as a denier, to try to discredit you, attack the messenger. We're waking up to what these guys are doing to us. We're learning that there's a small group of people that can only do one thing, and that's trick us and deceive us. And that's what they're doing. They put people in positions of power so that when we investigate a crime, they're the ones who committed the crime. So take advantage of these links. I'm going to turn you on to this guy's website. He's got a lot of great articles. And by all means, please share this information. That's what they're saying on their message board or on their YouTube videos and on their website. Please share this. We don't even care if you don't even tell us. You know, put our name associated with it. Get the information out there. We have to be aware that we have a shadow government that's controlling us. And we need to take back charge, because we're living in times of revolution. It's up to you to find where you fit amongst all these revolutions. And when you can figure it out, you do it. Ow! You and everyone else, we're in for a treat.